Good evening. Welcome to Turning It Around. I am Jaquel Brown.
And I am Candace Sims, the other half of Turning It Around.
Our guest today is Miss Montoya Ware. Miss Ware's son, Jonah, was age 19, was murdered on August 7th of this year in Louisville, Kentucky. Miss Ware, welcome to Turning It Around. How are you today?
Hey, I am doing great. I'm doing great. It's a better day, a better day. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining in with us today.
Mhm.
Please tell us about what happened with your son, Jonah, on that day of August 7th.
Well, August the 7th, I was informed that my son, Jonah Ware, was gunned down in the streets of Louisville, Kentucky in broad daylight. In broad daylight. So it was a different experience for me. I'm all the way in Atlanta, Georgia, so I'm 6 hours away from getting to my baby. That's what happened on the tragic day of August the 7th. Yeah.
Wow,
Yes.
wow. August.
On
How did that day start out for you, that morning?
It was so crazy. That morning, I was peaceful. And me and my son, we talked every day around the clock. Like, that was my best friend. So we didn't miss a beat. We didn't miss a beat. Like, we talked at probably 1 in that morning, 1 a.m. He texted me, good night, mother. Love you. And I was like, I love you too. That was the last time we text. But usually, I'll be Johnny on the spot calling, but that particular day, I was just calm. I got up, I worked out, went to work out. And I do a lot of inspirational videos. So that particular day, did a video approximately around the time he was getting murdered. I did a motivational video. And in the video, I said, I can't go live. God's not done. That's the first thing I said in the video. And after I did the video, I was on the phone with a friend, and we was talking about business. And my phone rung, clicked, and was my oldest son. And he's screaming, Mama, Jonah just got murdered. I'm like, what? I mean, you never expect a phone call like that, or let alone from your son. I mean, we see the movies where the sheriff will come to your door, knock on your door, or they'll tell you, sit down first. Sit down, I got something to talk to you about. It was none of that. It was abrupt. Boom. Jonah's murdered. What? Wow. From my oldest son, so I can only imagine how he felt, to deliver that phone call. But my day was fine. I felt nothing. And I usually feel him. It's like we was kindred spirits. Yeah. But I felt nothing. I felt a peace. I felt such a peace. And after the phone call, of course, I had to go to Louisville, Kentucky. And of course, I couldn't drive. So one of his friends drove me. And as soon as I sat in the car, it started storming. It was like 3 lightning bolts. And after that, all God said was go live. And I'm like, what? Go live?
Wow.
Got murder. You want me to go live?
Wow.
And I went live, and I could hear God just immediately say, it's done. I'm done. Because remember the other video, God was like, I can't go live till God's finished. When he said he's done, I knew then. So
wow.
Okay, I read in the paper clipping that Jonah's brother, Saldrick, said the hardest part about the day after his brother's death was waking up. And his sister, she cried in disbelief that her baby brother was murdered.
Go ahead.
Go ahead and answer. You can answer.
I think everybody was shocked. The whole city. If to know Jonah was to love Jonah. To know him was to love him. And everybody says about the kid, my son had flaws. It flaws. We don't like to sugarcoat nothing. We don't sugarcoat nothing. Right. But to love him, he can make you mad. In the same instance that you've been mad, you like, oh, but I love him so much, And it wasn't just from his family, everybody he came in contact with, he just had that spirit about him. And so we was all in disbelief, like, who would pull the trigger? Like, who would literally pull the trigger? You only could pull the trigger if you didn't know him, or if you were so amped up. Like, how could you pull the trigger on him? And I'm not saying it just because my son, he was a beacon in Louisville, Kentucky. He was Jonah Ware. He was a little flex. He was hit the buckle. You know,
Wow.
so it was shocking to everybody. Like, it affected everybody so bad. Like, people just couldn't. I just got an inbox this morning. One of my friend, a former friend, had inbox. She said, "I'm so hurt. Like, I'm hurt. Like, I can't even function properly." Like, he's causing a ripple effect in Louisville, Kentucky,
Yeah.
of disbelief. You know. So yeah, my children are having it pretty hard. My daughter, him, was really close, and she said, I should have, I could have, I would have, but you can't bank on the coulda, woulda, shouldas. It's the now. It's the now.
Wow.
And he also said his mission is to change the world by doing positive things and just being himself.
He's always been. That was his motto. He want to change the world. So of course I took that motto and I put it in the foundation. We want to change the world one child at a time. But that was his mission. His mission was the youth. And you know what's so crazy is he actually did a segment on the news against gun violence when he was like 14 to 15 years old. And for him to feel like he had a result to protecting himself in the one thing that he fought against, that's just how the world turns you. You know, but it's soap opera is how the world turns. It's how the world shifts you. So when you are in the streets, and when you're in the streets, it's not necessarily you selling dope or, you know, you do bad things. In the street means it could mean you be out there advocating. It could mean, you know, he was an entertainer. So he was doing stuff too. But when you're in the streets instill fear in you. It instills hopelessness. It instills anything negative that you try to avoid. That's what the streets instill in you. And like a couple days before that, I told my son, I was like, get out of the streets. And y'all, this was his thing. He had a numerous of friends die before him. And my son was just loyal. He was a loyal kind. Wow. And he felt if he left Louisville, Kentucky, he could be failing them without the mission being accomplished. But how do you know God's a good God? He's a good God.
Yes,
He'll shut it down. He'll block it. He'll block it.
Yes.
So wherever your that is going, that's trying to be negative. My son had a call on his life. He had God on his life. So God wasn't gonna let him go out.
Yeah.
Other than what the world seen him as. You know, some people were being murderers. You know? And so I'm just so grateful that God protected him in that manner. Yeah, it affected a lot of people. More than I even realized. More than I realized. But yeah, it was his motto. He wanted to change the world. He sacrificed himself. He sacrificed himself for Louisville, Kentucky. He sacrificed himself for the youth. He wanted to do better. And sometimes when you're doing better, the way you moving ain't right. But you might think it's right at that moment. You know? Genuinely though. It genuinely.
Wow. So what were the circumstances surrounding his death? Do you know the details, or is it still under investigation that you can't really just divulge on anything?
Right. Yeah, that right there.
Okay. So it's still under investigation.
And that's what I was talking about prior. Even when your case is still under investigation, still be a part of the case. Still be a part of the case. Like, show your face for your case. Show your face for your case.
Wow.
Like I was saying, you know, the judicial system and the court system and even the detectives, they're like the school system. The school system will send you letters out, and you know, it's the day of your daughter's parent-teacher conference. It's the time frame, and if you don't show up, they don't care. You don't care, they don't care.
Right.
And you can't get mad at them for not caring. You don't care. But I've learned this throughout this investigation. You have to care.
Yeah.
You have to care.
You do. That's your baby.
I had to send my cousin yesterday to the detective. You gonna see us. You gonna know us. Go to him and take him this. You know, so when you show yourself strong and when you show you that you are really advocating what you're advocating for and you want justice, then they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice. That man kept telling me no. No. I said, well, I'm coming to town. I need to see you. No. I'll see. I don't need you to see. I need you to say yes.
Wow.
So he didn't. So, okay. That's fine. Hold on just a second. Let me call somebody else. So I called somebody else. And the man called me right back. Well, what time are you coming in town? I want to see you. I know you do. You going to see me. Because the same way they gunned down my son, broad daylight, you're going to see me. Whether it's broad daylight, whether it's 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, you're going to see me. Because that ain't no ordinary chat on your desk. That ain't a 45321 number. It's Jonah Elijah Ware on your desk. And I'm going to get justice for a little boy that gave his life to Louisville, Kentucky, and they took his life in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm not standing for that.
Wow. Yeah.
What would you say to parents and children out there today?
Concerning
the communities and what's going on in our communities?
What I would say, first of all, what I would say to the parents is be parents. If you don't know how to be a parent, there's all kind of organizations out there. That's a part of what I'm trying to do with the Jonah Ware Foundation. Because a lot of mothers do not know how to be mothers. And a lot of fathers do not know how to be fathers. And even me as a mother, I'm forever learning how to be an effective mother, now an effective grandmother. You should always be ever learning. Always.
I agree.
So what I would tell the parents is you have to get involved. Some parents work. I worked 2 and 3 jobs my whole entire life. But you have to make sure that your children are where they need to be in the timely time they need to be there and in the fashion that they need to be there. Make arrangements. You can't keep making these kids grown before their time.
Wow.
So I would tell the parents, even like I stated before, young men, mothers, quit telling your young men that they're the man of the house.
Right.
Don't make them the man of the house.
Right. Growing them up.
It makes them uneasy. It distracts, it confuses them. Because now they have the title as the man of the house. So now when they see the mamas crying at night and going through because of bills, the only thing on their mind is I gotta make some money. I gotta get this money made. And these are kids that's 8 and 9 years old. And I remember my oldest son told me one day, he said, I don't even remember my childhood. It broke me down. It broke me down because they see me be a single mama their entire life. So when a young boy who loves his mother sees that, they have to come up with any kind of means to make money and ends meet because they're now in the household. So what they do, they go to the streets because the streets provide for them. Pulling out wives of money, it's enticing to them. And then they all in their mind, they're like, should I make this money? I can help my mama. And the fathers, we need men on the wall. We need men on the wall. The fathers are not parent in the household. And then most of the fathers want to be fathers to the children, but the mothers are so bitter that they won't let them be mother. They won't let them be fathers.
Yeah.
So then you have a child who's stuck in the middle of 2 dysfunctional parents and feeling abandoned. So then you have an abandonment issue. And all of these issues lead to postpartum depression, postpartum PTSD, all of that collides in one time because once your mindset is altered and your mindset is going different ways, he ain't 8 no more. Now he's 22.
Wow.
So now he's developing all these emotions and these feelings. And that's why it's so simple and so easy for a child to pull the trigger.
Wow.
They have no guidance.
Wow. Yeah.
They have no motivation. They have none of it. And for the children who's disrespectful to their parents, they don't respect elders no more. They don't take accountability of how precious life is because it's all what they see through the games, the music they listen to. And for the, and I even want to get to the point where I stop the producers for even putting out songs that's even tainting these children's minds. Even the games, all the Fortnite and Grand Theft Auto, they show them how to pick up prostitutes and have sex in the back seat of the car and how to kill people, how to shoot police officers. Just all of that stuff. It's horrible.
I didn't know that. Wow.
But that's what I would tell the parents, to be aware, pay attention. Pay attention to your children. Don't let them go out and you give them a time to come in and you don't know where they at throughout the day.
Right.
No. And for the fathers, don't be afraid to be a father. Even if you messed up, Make it
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Make it right.
That's
So the
good,
children
guys.
be obedient to your parents. And, you know, and thinking of children, even when we younger, let's just keep it real. When we was younger, we didn't listen either. We didn't listen either. You know, our grandparents told, my grandma would tell me all the time, your attitude's just so nasty. You ain't gonna get nowhere with your attitude. I was like, yes, I will. But guess what? I never got anywhere with my nasty attitude until the attitude determines your altitude.
Yeah.
Right.
Every time.
Every time.
Every time. Wow. Well, I'm looking at your countenance while you're sharing your story and sharing about your son and your additional children and how they felt when they got the news and how it's still affecting them, how it still hurts them.
Oh yeah.
I can tell that your faith is sustaining you. Share a little bit about that faith that sustains you.
Oh, that faith. Faith. My God. Somebody asked me a question. Oh my Lord. They said, how can you be so strong? How can you be so strong? I remember when I got the news about my son, I said, it's Georgia. You know the Georgia Sun don't play? Georgia Sun don't play no games with nobody. They're going to take out many people that they can take out. It's horrible here. So it was hot that day. Probably 100 degrees, probably. And with it being 100 degrees, the sun's about 200 degrees here in Georgia. And I just sat in the driveway and I sat in the sun. And I said, just let me die. And because 2 days prior to that, I told my son, I said, I feel like you're so far away from me. And he said, no, mother, I'm right here. We like this. I'm going to always be with you. I said, Jonah, get out of Louisville. They're going to kill you. He said, well, no, they're not. I'm covered in the blood. I said, if something happened to you, I won't make it. I won't be able to survive without you. He was like my Ruth, He's like, whatever God you serve, I serve. Wherever you go, I go. I'll never leave you. And that's how he was. So when I got the news that he got, murdered, and I'm sitting in the driveway in the sun, I was like, just let me die. Just let me die. So I can't get on here and say that my emotions been like this the whole entire time. I wanted to die that day. And I had 2 other kids and 5 grandkids. But him, he wasn't my favorite. He was me. We was connected. Yeah. So I wanted to die too. Yeah. And all I heard him say was, live. Live, mother. My mother, they call me mother, M-U-D-D-A-H, mother. Live, mother. That's all I heard. I got up. I said, God, I can't do this without you. But God been preparing me for months. See, when God prepares you, you got to pay attention to the preparation time. Yeah. Because he prepares. He said, before it springs forth, I'll tell you about it. He said, before it springs forth, I'll tell you about it. I pray for my kids every single day. He showed me. I even called my son. I said, get back in the hedge of protection. You out of the hedge of protection of God. He said, Mom, I said, what did God promise me and you? He said that I would not die by gunfire. I said, then he wants to keep that promise. Jonah, get back in the hedge of protection. He said, Mama, I am. Mama, God, I pray every night, Mama. I said, Jonah, we can't protect you if you don't let God do what God want to do with your life. My faith is all I have to hold on to. Wow. If I let go of this faith and I let go of what God, here's another thing. One of the persons that they said killed my son was involved. I had to see this person that next day. This person, I'm standing there, this person standing in front of me, and all my insides are boiling. And all I heard God say was, don't get out of character. If you get out of character, then you taint the whole legacy of Jonah Elijah Ware. You'll mess up the whole process. But see, we don't listen to the voice of God in the midst of our triumphs and our hurt and our pain and our agony. But when I tell you my ears have got to be attentive in this day and this season for me, if I miss anything that's concerning God and what he's telling me, then everything that I believe for and everything that my son died for and everything that he worked for will plummet. It will plummet. God said you got to wake up and die daily. That's how I can be strong like this.
Wow.
I have to die to my emotions. Do I have my moments? Yes. I have my breakdown moments. And the moment I begin to break down, somebody will text me, I need prayer. Don't touch me in this kind of way. I want to know more about Jesus. I'm hurt right now. I can't stop crying. I'm thinking about Jonah. I just want Jonah to come and visit me. I told my son, I don't want you to come yet. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. So just as much as I bank on my faith and I swing on my faith, I'm also human.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him yet.
Wow.
I'm ready for that sealed envelope yet.
Yeah.
It's keeping me going. It's keeping me, it's keeping me strong.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. How did the justice system, how was their response? I know you can't talk about the case and where that is with it, but how was their response? I read in the clipping that you all hadn't heard as of that Sunday night, pertaining to the night that he was murdered. It said that the family had not heard from the police officers or the investigators.
Yeah, I didn't. I got there Friday in the middle of the night. I called, didn't hear from anyone. I said, okay. And I could have went a whole nother way. I could have, but from the time I hit Louisville, Kentucky, it's like God had to show me. I know every song my son makes, he always talk about his mother being straight and that his mama never want for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Of how much he wanted to make his mama okay. And so I had to have that in my mindset that, okay, so you're going to be okay. Don't get in the flesh. Don't get all in your emotions. Just hold on, because you always got to think. You got to think positive. Maybe I'm not hearing from them because they're still gathering. So maybe I'm not hearing from them because what they're going to tell me, I'm not going to be pleased. God's preparing something for me. So I had to think on them lines. But I didn't hear from them. I didn't even see my son. So everybody knew he was dead, but me mentally, physically, my eyesight, I still, a part of me was like, maybe he's still alive. So I'm trying to see him, the corners. It's the weekend. Corners ain't gonna, they came out, but we missed them. Wow. So I didn't see my son until Monday. Monday, they really didn't want me to see him. And they said, you don't want to see him anyway. Yes, I do. I got to know that's my son that was in them bushes and them rocks and that gravel. I got to know. Everybody everybody supposed to know before me. I need to know too. So finally, I got to see my son, and then I heard from the detective. I said, I've been calling y'all. I said, here's one thing I will not tolerate. When I call, answer. If you can't answer, send somebody to call me back. I said, but this child, you gonna know. You don't know him? Let me tell you who he is. I sent them videos. I sent them pictures. I sent them his life story. I sent them because you're gonna know my son. You're gonna know him. You're gonna know him. And so I told the detective, I said, you have to see my face. I said, I need to see your face. Because this thing, when you make somebody see your face, they gotta look at your eyes, and in your eyes is your soul. And your soul, if it's pure and if it's right, and if they're pure and they're right, they're gonna connect immediately. Because in spite of all the exterior behavior that because detectives gotta act like they don't care. I put on a persona some kind of way to make everybody feel like they doing the case the same way. You know how it go. So when he saw me, he felt it. Yeah. So I can honestly say, all detectives ain't hard, don't have no heart, don't have no feelings. Sometimes they just don't know which way to go. They have cases, they don't know which way to go. But let's start here. And from him, trust me, it'll be a ripple effect. Because he's made a change, y'all. Like, I see more mothers coming out. I see more mothers expressing how they feel. I see more mothers getting off their chest. I see more mothers fighting. I see more mothers getting encouraged. So if it took me to do that, then I'm honored.
Amen.
All right. Amen.
We really want to
thank you. Pain into purpose, right?
Right.
Say that again.
Turn that pain into purpose.
Yeah, turn it around. That's what we all about. Turning it around.
Yeah.
We have to turn it around. We have to turn it around. If we don't turn it around.
Not a frown. Definitely not a frown.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you definitely are here to keep his memory alive and to do what you do in his honor. just as how Jackie does what she does in Slugger's honor, and how I do it, what I do in Marcus's honor.
Yeah.
And every day ain't a good day, but every
Oh
day
no,
ain't always a bad day either. Every
no.
day is a productive day.
A productive day, whether it be in your business, whether it be in your foundation, or whether it be with yourself.
Yes.
With yourself. Every day is a self-preserved day.
Mm,
Every day.
mm,
Every day I have to wake up. I don't know how I'm gonna wake up.
mm-hmm.
Half time I don't know how I'm gonna sleep.
Right.
Like I fight in my sleep on a daily.
Wow.
And I'm like, God, I don't understand. I feel like I just get so agitated now. I feel like I can feel me kicking the covers and I can feel me like wrestling. But when you have a purpose
Mm-hmm.
and your whole life has changed,
Mm.
you gotta fight. He said the valid taken by force.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
gotta take it by force. And most of the time it's at nighttime when everything's roaming and raging.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He said, but throughout that nighttime, you better believe when you wake up, there's revelation. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning.
Mm.
You might weep at night, you might
Right.
kick the night in your sleep, you're gonna fight, you're gonna wrestle, but in that morning time, I will give you revelation on everything you wrestle with.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
That's why immediately God said, Jonah Word Foundation. I'm like,
All
come on, God. And keep up with God.
Mm-hmm.
Keep up with God.
Mm.
That's why he said, I'll comfort you when you mourn.
Mm-hmm.
While you mourn, let me comfort you because I don't want you to miss what I want to do in your life in spite of what happened in the middle of this trial and this headache and this heartache and this pain. Let me show you what I want to do for you too.
Wow.
Amen.
Let me show you what I want to do for you too.
Yeah.
But parents, you have to forgive.
Mm.
Forgive.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. If you do not forgive, it holds you captive.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it foreign to you.
Mm-hmm.
It makes life foreign. It makes what you're going through foreign. You don't understand it. But that's not a true statement. Because God said, if any man lacks wisdom, let him ask of me and I give it to you liberally and I upbraid it not. I withhold no good thing from you.
Mm.
Before I bring forth, I'll tell you about it first.
Mm.
And then we knock it off as, girl, I had this crazy dream last night. Girl, it was so crazy.
Mm.
Girl, you ain't gonna believe what happened to me today. Girl, I was about to go, but then something just told me to stop. All them somethings and all that stuff, that's God.
Mm.
Pay attention.
Pay attention.
Pay attention. But if you do not forgive, then you cannot be blessed the way God wants to bless you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That was hard. In the natural, that was the hardest thing for me to do. I would have never done that. But I knew I was being led by the Holy Ghost. And I knew God was wanting to do something in my life. So the night of the murder, I had to forgive the people that killed my son. But I didn't know how many doors that was going to open for my son's legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And how many doors that was going to open for other mothers that was hurting in the same manner. Whether your son got murdered, whether he overdosed, whether he got stabbed, whether they got, decapitated, however the enemy took your child out, there's purpose behind that.
Mm.
Ours just happened to be gunfire. Yours could be overdose. Yours could be domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
However the enemy took your child from you, you found purpose in that pain.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Mm-hmm. We want to thank you for opening up your home for us to come in this way. And we thank you so much. And we as parents have to reach out in our communities to keep everyone, educated and everything on what's going on in our communities. We have to look around our own front doors before we go around others.
Yeah.
And we just thank you so much for tuning in with us on this day and sharing about your son, about your other kids and your feelings.
Yes.
And I would like to say to all our viewers and listeners, you can also reach us at www.turningitaround.life, or you can email us at turningitaround2020@gmail.com. Candace, you have the floor.
All right. Again, thank you so much, Montoya, for not only just sharing us your heart, sharing with us your faith, sharing with us your baby, Jonah Ware, and even being able to start a foundation as
Oh,
early
yeah.
as you started.
Yeah.
Did this happen this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been less than 2 months,
Yeah.
and you hit the ground running, and not. I haven't known anybody in 13 years that has had the resiliency and the stamina and the remarkable faith that you show to even do that. So I pray that as people get to see your story and get to be inspired by your story,
Thank you, God.
that it will increase, it'll be a faith booster for them as well. So thank you.
I want to say something real quick. She said something about the village. I know it looks like our village is burned down and destroyed. Like it's no hope, but there is hope. There is hope. We have too many hands. Our backs are too strong. Our mental is too strong to where we can't rebuild the village. We can rebuild the village. And that's the purpose of the Jonah Ware Foundation, is to rebuild that village, reprogram the mindsets of the youth. Let them know that they still have the ability not to become a product of their environment. Not to become a product of their environment. You have the mental capacity and the mental strength not to become what you see. You could be seeing gangbangers all your whole entire life. You could change it around. But they're lacking the sense of love and stability in our culture. We've given up. Our focus is on different things, and we're making it a separation between the two. Stop causing our own segregation in our own race.
Wow.
In our own race. So this platform is amazing. Thank you for allowing me to be on your platform and share my story. That's all I want. That's all I want to do.
Awesome.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And we thank you. We thank you. And we will continue to be in touch with you. And
Yes.
you can contact us at any time if there's something you like to share, or whatever the situation may be, you can reach out to us anytime. We're always here for you. That's when the dark nights fall, the phone call, because I still call Candace today. So, we have those moments, and when you need that, and it will come.
Oh, trust me.
It will come. You're
Yes.
just like a few months in. We're years in. I'm 8 years. Candace, you like 12?
13
years in?
And that's what shakes me up the most. When I hear the years that people have put in dealing with this, I'm just like, whew, it does something to me. When I hear the amount of years, I'm like, I'm only 2 months, I'm only a month in fresh. And I just, years, my head goes off to you. I do want to make another, y'all gonna have me talking about that. I love y'all. But
we love you too. Go ahead.
I just want to make one more validation to the parents. One more thing to say to the parents. I didn't touch on young women, because we have young ladies that's getting murdered as well. Out here in these streets, and along with trafficking and stuff like that. Let's stop making these babies mothers before their time. If we make them mothers before their time, it means watch your brother and sister. I'm gonna run out real quick. I gotta go somewhere. Don't do that to them. Don't do that to them. Them are young ladies who are learning to be young ladies and coming into themselves. So when you put them in a position to be a mother at 10 and 11 years old, that's what they take on. That's the form they take on. So now they're watching Junior, changing them, clothing them, feeding them like it's their own baby. So in their mindset, they want to have their own baby. They want to feel what it feels like to be loved genuinely. So that's why these young girls go out and they get pregnant, trying to find a validation for a void that's missing in their life. And the only void missing in their life is the love that they're craving from their mother and their father.
Yep.
So
Hallelujah.
as parents, we have to do better. We have to do better. just to stop this pandemic. Everything starts in the home. Everything starts at home first. So for these children to be comfortable in pulling the trigger and these girls being comfortable in setting these young men up to get killed, then we need to start in the homes first. What are the environments? What are they seeing? What are they listening to? All of that. All of that.
Mm-hmm.
All of it. Tear their rooms up. They don't pay no rent. Go in there and see what's under their mattresses and in them pillowcases and in them pants pockets in the closet. Under them rugs. In the back corner of their dresser. Come on, mamas. Y'all know what they have in places. All up in the ceiling. They can pull up the wall panel. You better check them rooms. Check them little girls. Take them to the doctor. Get them checked out. Make sure them hammers ain't broke. Let's just keep it real. Keep it real.
Okay, well, we are out of time, and you're going to need a part 2. We're going to have you back for part 2, because we'll probably get a lot of high ratings on this show right here. But again, thanks so much for tuning in, and continue to be looking out for Turning It Around for our next episode.
Yes. Thank you, guys.